4.5 billion years ago, Earth was a hellscape that would make Mars look hospitable. Molten rock, a toxic atmosphere, constant bombardment from space. This planet had a less than 1% chance of ever supporting life. This is the story of the Precambrian for a billion years. When Earth transformed from a burning wasteland into the cradle of all life. What happened during this time would determine whether you'd be watching this video today, or whether nothing would exist at all. Our story begins 4.6 billion years ago, during the Hadean Eon, literally named after Hades, the underworld. Earth had just formed from cosmic dust and debris, but it wasn't alone. A Mars-sized planet called Theia was hurtling toward us at 25,000 miles per hour. The collision was so violent, it vaporized both planets and created our moon. What reformed as Earth was a molten ball of rock at surface temperatures of 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit, hot enough to melt copper. Meet early Earth. A world where the ground was liquid fire and the sky rained molten rock. The atmosphere was mostly methane, ammonia, and hydrogen, instantly deadly to anything we'd recognize as life. There were no continents, no oceans, just a global magma ocean under a toxic sky. But Earth had something special. It was exactly the right distance from the sun. Not too hot like Venus, not too cold like Mars. Earth was in the Goldilocks, and it was about to face the ultimate test of survival. For 500 million years, Earth slowly cooled. The molten surface began to solidify into the first rocky crust. Steam rose from the cooling rock and something miraculous happened. It rained and rained and rained. For millions of years, torrential downpours filled every crater and depression. The first oceans formed, but these weren't the blue waters we know today. They were scalding hot, acidic, and filled with dissolved metals. Nothing could survive in this boiling chemical soup, or so we thought. Then, around 4 billion years ago, something unprecedented happened deep on the ocean floor. Near scalding hydrothermal vents, complex chemicals began forming. Carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen started combining in ways that had never existed before. The first organic molecules were born in Earth's most hostile environment. But creating life from non-living chemicals seemed impossible. What were the odds that random chemical reactions could create something as complex as a living cell? Scientists estimate the chances at roughly 1 in 10 to the power of 40,000. That's like winning the lottery every day for a billion years. What happened next defied these impossible odds. And if you're enjoying this incredible story of Earth's origin, smash that like button and subscribe for more mind-blowing prehistoric discoveries. Trust me, you won't want to miss what comes next. And it happened. Around 3.8 billion years ago, the first self-replicating molecules appeared. These weren't quite alive yet. They were RNA chains that could copy themselves, but copying wasn't perfect. Mutations occurred, and those mutations led to something extraordinary. In perhaps the most important moment in Earth's history, the first living cell formed. We call it LUCA, the last universal common ancestor. Every single living thing on Earth today, from bacteria to blue whales to you, descends from this single microscopic organism. But LUCA faced a deadly challenge. Earth's atmosphere contained no oxygen. Zero. The sun was 30% dimmer than today, threatening to freeze the entire planet solid. RNA world hypothesis. Self-replicating RNA molecules evolved into DNA-based life through chemical selection. Cellular activity sounds, DNA-RNA formation, tension building. The first life forms were anaerobic. They survived without oxygen by eating chemicals from volcanic vents. For a billion years, these primitive microbes were the only inhabitants of Earth. The planet was still an alien world of purple and green with no blue skies or green plants. Then, 2.4 billion years ago, some bacteria evolved a revolutionary ability: photosynthesis. Cyanobacteria began absorbing sunlight and carbon dioxide, releasing oxygen as waste. But here's the terrifying part. Oxygen was toxic to nearly all existing life forms. This oxygen was like a global poison, creating the first mass extinction event in Earth's history. 90% of all life died in what scientists call the Great Oxidation Event. Earth's entire atmosphere transformed from methane-based to oxygen-based in just a few 100 million years. But the survivors of this oxygen catastrophe would evolve into something incredible. If you want to see how this story connects to every living thing today, including you, hit subscribe and ring that notification bell so you never miss our prehistoric adventures. Over the next 2 billion years, those oxygen-breathing survivors evolved into complex cells with nuclei, the ancestors of all plants, animals, and fungi. The toxic waste product that nearly destroyed all life became the breath of life itself. Today, you breathe the oxygen that cyanobacteria first created 2.4 billion years ago. Every breath you take connects you directly to Earth's most ancient survivors. The Precambrian era that nearly failed to produce any life instead created the foundation for every living thing on our planet. And that's how a molten ball of rock defied impossible odds to become the only known world where life not only survived, but thrived. The next time you take a breath, remember, you're breathing the legacy of Earth's greatest survivors.